against the shoreline. This band was a ring of mussels. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
Scientists realized the lake itself, bubbling with methane, was actually a thick soup of salty brine, far heavier than the surrounding seawater.
He's trying to figure out where it's going.
An entire community lives on its shores.
He thinks it's going out the back of the TV.
Shrimp,
Look at those shrimp boots.
weird squat lobsters, and bright red polychaete worms make their homes in this unearthly habitat. These methane leaks are called cold seeps and are surprisingly similar to the hot vents. Closely related animals flourish in both extreme environments.
There were just giant mounds of bivalves, clams, and worms. These beautiful tube worms, just forests of them. It was just this mound of life with all sorts of associated creatures living in it, crabs and fish, and swarms of amphipods and copepods, and this is a giant community.
Amazingly, these tube worms are over 200 years old. Whereas the hot vent habitat can experience dramatic changes from year to year, life here is slow and stable. Unlocking this biological paradox could be the key to solving many of our planet's other mysteries.
The deep ocean remains incredibly unexplored. I guess this is an often used phrase, but we know more about the surface of the moon than we do about much of the deep sea floor. I'm convinced there are all kinds of discoveries to be made, new kinds of communities, remarkable species with undreamed of adaptations.
The take-home message to the young future generation is that you're just embarking upon the age of exploration and discovery.
Look
and the
up
most
there.
exciting discoveries
Look at that boots. What is it?
They get to make them. They get to go down to the vents and really figure out whether life itself did originate at those vents. They get to isolate those.
Once he gets addicted to TV, that'll be the end of it. He'll always watch TV now.
So far, we have explored just 1% of the deep ocean floor. Who knows what's still out there waiting to be discovered?
One of the problems in doing deep dives and filming is that these submersibles that we're using were built for research, not filmmaking. They've had our two best lights, the HMIs, way up on the top next to a big xenon spotlight. And that works great for science, gives you nice flat light, a lot of information in the frame. But that's not what we're interested in. We want to get shadows and detail and darks and lights. I had these guys build big booms that I could spread out and put the lights way away from the camera. Watch that. It is ink.
He really doesn't understand where it's going. He thinks it's going out the side of the TV.
What it looked like with lights. We had two submersibles.
I said that before we leave. That would not be good if they got the fish.
And that was a big guns, and it would just fire up lights and backlight these areas. And I would be in a second zone.
He's the only one noticing it.
And lighting the foreground, I could see detail. But that second sub gave depth to it.
He's really
I
smart.
saw views of these areas that I had never seen before. Those are the sorts of subtleties that we were going after, a style of filming that I hadn't done before, and I don't think anyone had done prior to this.
There are places on Earth we know very little about.
Get the jellyfish boots.
Nothing humans have ever seen.
Wait till I
Yet,
show you stuff.
these
These things look bigger
mysterious
than me.
places dominate our world.
Look at him watch it.
The same filmmakers who brought you Planet Earth invite you on an epic journey into this unfamiliar realm. Travel from pole to pole, over the reefs, and into the blue.
He really is looking for where it went.
It looks like another worldly landscape, but it's of this world. and
Well,
it's
the way
not
he
mine.
sees it and the way we see it, it's two different.
This
It's
area
probably really
lies
intense to his
underwater,
eye.
beneath the Arctic ice cap. The ghostly calm here belies the raging storms above. In the long polar winter, the sun brings little light and even less heat. Rarely does the temperature get higher than 60 degrees below zero. But despite the crippling cold, there is life, even here, at the ends of the earth.
He's barely touching it.
Desolate, unforgiving.